I thought that too when I was putting them on this morning. I was like, this looks like freaking Sonic the Hedgehog. But anyway. All right. I got Unity open. We ended roughly here. I painted some trees, and then we painted some more trees that were even goofier. And there's our awful, like 2-second grass texture. I'm going to go ahead and I may have found a grass texture that I'm sure is absolutely not copyrighted by anyone or anything. So I'm just going to add that. So we'll go through that again. So I'm on the terrain, come over here to this paint details. I'm going to add a new brush. So edit details, add grass texture. I found something really dumb. Oh, where'd it go?
How many asset packs do we have?
I might have downloaded a few, okay? Like, I didn't throw them in yet, but I was like, I want to have options. So I'm going to add that.
I mean, that's a completely valid answer.
And there's, yeah.
Completely original.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, it was online. Someone just posted it for free, obviously. So
Yeah,
didn't know if anybody's seen anything like that before. But you can see, so they've got the same settings on them if I open them up. So details, right? We got the same healthy versus dry color, and you could switch that to purple or green or, whatever. Have your alien grass. Go all brown for Abilene grass. But this, you can see it's down here. This starts as a green texture. And so it's greener when I layer the green on. Whereas this one, since I used white, it's going to use a little more of the actual color that I'm using over here for healthy and dry. So you can end up like if I went, am I on the blocky grass? Yeah. If I went purple on this, or I can't find your texture fuchsia, then it doesn't even look like that because it's layering the pinky color over the green. So, yeah, I mean, we'll keep it, but
That's like
I'm not saying it's ideal.
like midnight forest grass.
So let's make there we go. There's the blood blades, something. So yeah, so that's why we did that in white. I didn't know if I'd mentioned that last time, so I wanted to cover it again. What do we got left to do? I had the project up. Why they don't just show me the rubric right off the bat? So we did all that.
Large building.
I need buildings, small objects. Okay, so really we're looking at colliders today. That's our deal. All right, so I'll just start with some things. Where is my guy? Yeah, yeah, oops. Okay, so I got this guy over here. Let's just start with this block. So this is the one I dropped in when I wanted to find the center of my world and move the terrain around it. So he's just hanging here. I'm gonna hit F to zoom in. He's just a block. When I made the block, stop terrain. Okay, so if that becomes a problem, what you can do is you come over here to terrain and that little icon there with the finger, you hit that and it's finger crossed out. Now I can't select the terrain accidentally from in here. So then I can just, focus on other things. Something as large as terrain is like you end up selecting that 100 times without meaning to. All right, so we're back to our block. When we did create this block, it came with a collider. So it came with a box collider. So this guy, I'm just going to go ahead and pull it up and we'll just walk through colliders. I should land right on top of this thing. Exactly. So no rigid body on it. So it's literally just a block floating in space. I can't move through it. I could jump on it, but it's just there. So to make it kickable, I'm going to go ahead and add component, and we'll look for rigid body. Don't do rigid body 2D. I love the fall semester because I do 2D and 3D like consistently, and so I never remember which colliders and rigid bodies. I'm like, oh, oops.
Yeah, I love
Anyway,
fall semester, but not for that reason.
yeah. So now this guy will drop down and be affected by gravity because it's got this use gravity tag on. And by default, it'll act pretty decent. There's a lot of things we can do with the rigid body. We could like freeze its position or rotation. I could make it where I couldn't, well, I could like kick it and spin it, but like couldn't kick it over. Like if I don't allow it to rotate on the Z or the X, then when I kick it, all it would do is be able to spin on the Y. So that's what these constraints are. So I'll do that just to see what that looks like. Or if I was wanting to like simulate this is stuck in a hallway, but I don't have all the physics for the hallway, or if I wanted to do some kind of like 2.5D thing, then I could freeze position on any of the X, Y's, and Z's and be like, well, this can't be pushed, you know, some direction, or it can't go up and down. It can only go like sliding. And then you can play all kinds of crazy stuff with the mass and the angular dampening and all this other fun stuff. I usually leave them alone unless I'm like deep into game development and like I need it to act like it's only a cardboard box and not a dumpster. And so then I'll start playing with mass and comparing those. So we added a rigid body. It already had a box collider. And if I hit the right things, I should be able to kick it. Oh, do I have the wrong type of controller? I didn't even test the controller. Well, gravity worked. Yep, this is using character controller. All right, there's going to be some tricks. So I was expecting there's two ways you can make a controller for, well, there's 1,000 ways you can do anything. Um, Generally, what I start with in this class is we'll do a physics-based controller, and so the character that we're moving around as also has a rigid body, so it can smack into things, knock them over. Um, so I just grabbed this one because I wanted to play with something new. This is using a character controller, so it's not actually giving me the physics that I want. So I can't just kick these boxes around. I'm struggling to remember. There's something I can do. I don't even remember if it's to the player or to the rigid body objects that will give me back that pushability. But I just don't remember. Layer overrides. It's not jumping right out at me. May Google that in a minute. All right, so we'll come back to that. On the box though, so this cube, I was going to add a texture to it or a material to it. So it wasn't just boring. So I'm going to come down here to my assets folder. I've already got folders for prefabs and textures, and this is somebody else's terrain auto upgrade, but also ended up with that underscore in front of it. So it's up toward the top of my list here. I'm going to make one for materials. So I'm going to create folder underscore materials. You don't have to do the underscore. I just like it because when I go downloading 1,000 different asset packs and end up with like a bunch of folders here, I just want my stuff moved to the front. So I put the underscore. All right, in here, I'm going to right click, create material. It's right there in front of me. We'll name it, I don't know, crate material or something. Box material. Drag that onto our box. And then with the material still selected here, I'm just going to find one of my textures and drag it in there. We'll use that one. Why not? So any texture you want to put on there. We just got like a regular base metal. Didn't want to replace it. That was weird. Let's try this one. This one's got some alpha in the middle. Yeah. So this one had that, and so now I've got it. Turned on the alpha clipping, and now it looks like we've got holes all the way through it, and we can see the shadow. The other part of this is all, until we tell it not to, all geometry and textures are one-sided, right? So if I get inside the box, looks like there's nothing there. That should be another setting. Might not be on the regular. Yeah, it should be. Lighting probes. It used to be a real pain to do, and then they made it much easier with some checkbox somewhere. Now I got to find it. Oh, I need the material again. There it is. Receive shadows. There we go. Render face. So if I tell it to be both, then we've got inside now. So we don't get as cool of the shadows going through it, but we can see through that. I'm going to go ahead and leave that like that just for fun. So yeah, so on the material properties, alpha clipping and render faces both side, and now I've got a solid box. All right, so that's all set up the way I want it. So we'll talk about the next amazing thing we can do. So I'm just going to go ahead and name this box metal with hole. And I'm going to go to my prefabs folder here, and I'll drag this guy from the hierarchy into the project window. And now I've got a prefab of this, and I can just replicate as needed. Instead of making a new box and adding the rigid body and adding the material and doing all that, boom, we got it. So I'm going to drag a bunch of these around and at least see the rigid bodies in action, since our player's not doing it. All right, so I'm going to drag my player down closer to the ground. I'll grab my boxes. Down here with the other ones. There we go. And we'll let them start up in the sky. Actually, I want them to tumble a bit more. So I'm going to take just any one of them, and I'm going to turn off those constraints on the rigid body. So I don't want to freeze any rotations. So I changed that one, but I've got 3 more that aren't changed. But I can fix that from here. So this is the one that I like. If I come over here, I've got it selected, and I come over here to the inspector window. It shows that it's a prefab, and I've got this overrides drop down. And so I can say, apply everything from this to all the other ones. And so now all of the rest of them have adapted to those changes. So we should see like some boxes falling. Is it the most exciting game in the world? I don't know, maybe. Boom, yeah, and see that one like did a little jump. That was fun.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah. I'm just bummed that I was super excited about this character control that we got, and then now I can't kick boxes and I don't know what to do with my life.
Let's go back to the minute first person.
Yeah, we could just drag in the other one. We may do that in a minute. So for objects we want to interact with without it being this particular controller, rigid bodies, things you can move around, or will smack into each other, open, whatever. And then I'm just going to find something. I did download a lot of junk. It's like, oh, maybe I want to play with that. We get anvils. I got some. Oh, perfect. I like this one. This one looks cool. There we go. Drag that guy out. Usually, especially with a terrain object, they will, like, when you drag them in, they'll snap to the ground. But if not, you'll have to pan them down. This guy, let's see, this prefab, it's already got a mesh renderer, which is great. We've got a bunch of materials. He doesn't appear to have colliders on him. So I can just clip right through because we got no colliders. It's a ghost house. Yeah, exactly. Colliders. So on these are boxes, right? They're how many faces for a cube? 6. And then even if we're gonna talk about those are actually triangles, it's only 12. So we try to keep colliders as primitive as possible, because if you've got like 2 billion colliders and they're like super small, intricate, your game will slow down bad. Awful frame rate. It's the suck. So I could on this house here just go away all these other ones. All right, so I'm going to come down here to the bottom, add component. I'll look for colliders. We've got boxes, we've got capsules, some that are just for 2D. There's a sphere collider. The terrain collider is a little expensive, but it's already automatically on our terrain. Wheel colliders. So we could just wrap a box around this. You can see it just adds it to the base mesh. So it's going to perform well. But if I try to jump up on the roof, it's going to be weird, right? Because like literally this outline box is where I can't go. And I can't even get under the eaves here. So if it's off in the distance, or if you're just a big tank anyway, and you don't expect to be able to get into these little grooves down here, box collider's fine. Where'd it go? Went all the way to the top. So if I again on this little guy here, if I'd click that, I can reset it, add it, remove it. So I'm just going to take that off of here, and I'll show you the other way. So we do mesh collider. Mesh collider's awesome, sort of.
Awesome if you have an awesome computer.
Yes, and all of your players, have awesome computers. And if this particular house is like the main point of your game, then okay, you'll use a mesh collider because you want to be able to, I don't know, like set something up on the ledge right here. Everything's gonna work, and with only one of them in here, it shouldn't slow us down too bad. Oh, yeah, almost forgot about those guys. So I come up under here. I can't get past that. Right. So what happens though is literally every face on this mesh is now doubled as a collider. So like all of these divots and everything, and even if it's like super high poly, like I've got, see escape. So right in here, this could be one face, right? We model it one way, or it could be like a bunch of faces. Could be like just a whole bunch of little faces, planes right in here instead of one. Whatever that breakout happens to be, that's how many collider faces that we're adding to it. So if you've got a city full of these, yeah, even holding down shift won't make you run. You're just going to crawl through that thing. So the way around that is either to, I could make this with one box collider that just fits around the bottom part, and then a bigger one around the top. And so people will use a lot of smaller primitives to make up the base shape. Or with our mesh collider, we can go convex. And that basically like saran wraps your object. So like it'll kind of work better when I'm up here on the roof. Like if I can get up here, I've still got this weird sloping thing going on here when I get close to the chimney, but like toward the edge, like that'll kind of work. I could get closer to the bottom down here, but like not all the way over. So it just depends on your object and like how close you're going to be to it and what do you need. If I was going to shoot paintballs at it, then I would probably want the mesh collider that's not convex, right? Because the paintball is going to hit some surface, and then I'm going to paint a decal there. And so if I've got it like this, and I shoot the side right here, then my paint splatter is just going to be like hovering in the air over by the side. So it gets really complex to think about. Okay, what do I actually need this collider for, and how's it gonna perform? So we'll leave that. You know what? That's fine. I'm going to go ahead and just do a couple of box colliders on this. So remove that. I'm going to add a box collider. It didn't look like I could jump up high enough to get on the roof anyway, so that wasn't as big a deal. But I want to be able to get in under that ledge. So I've got this box collider. Again, it wraps around because this house has all of the geometry in the base mesh, or at least it looks like it. Let's go into prefab mode. Yeah, it's all one mesh. Then the box collider wrapped all the way around it. But I don't want it to be as much on the bottom. So let me find the guy again. So I've got to come up here to edit collider on the box collider. Then I get these dots. I can move this up. And then another thing to show you is this little tumbling widget over here. I can click on any one of these and it will go to that perspective, that view. So if I look at it from Y, it's top down. And then right under here, I can click on top and I can go to an orthographic view or go back to perspective. So I'm going to go at it from the side, and then I can get zoomed in really close and move this collider right up to where I want it from a nice orthographic view. So now I've got a good collider around that, and I could just clip through the bottom, which would kind of suck. So I'm going to add another collider to it. So add component, box collider. Again, this one's going to end up being the whole shape. So I'm going to edit it again. Stink, right? Which is which. So I'm going to just goof with that. Now I know that that one is attached. So the dots are on the center of the shape. So when I pulled this down, I could see that side dot there moving with it and the center dot. So it helped me figure out which was which. So move that in. Get it from the other side. Oof. And then if you accidentally click off, you lose it. So I'm going to go back to Edit Collider. And when you do click on Edit Collider on the base object, it's going to start editing all of them. So that's kind of cool, I guess. No, it's not. It's terrible. I'll pull that one back up. And so now I've got one wrapping around here. It intersects with the other one. Like it doesn't have to, but it does. Like if I could try to, yes, yeah, grab the wrong one. Grab that guy, pull him down if I wanted to, if I could. There we go. Pull that one back up. And since I'm not going to get up on the roof of this, this is fine. Watch for falling debris. All right, so I can get right up here. And again, honestly, depending on the game, right? I might jump on something and be able to get up the side of that. Actually, maybe these boxes will help. No, they're probably too far away. So I literally don't know. Yeah, I just can't jump that high. But we do have a collider around there. Like if I got a super jump set of boots, then I would be stopped by that overhang now. So those are our big buildings. I want you to populate your big buildings just around the map. Just colliders. I don't want to walk through them, but I don't want to kick them across the map either. So this, yo.
What classifies as big buildings? Could we do like swings and slides or something as well? Or does it have to be buildings?
Doesn't have to be buildings. Assume something that even your strongest tank character couldn't just knock over.
Okay. So strongest tank character could probably knock over a slide.
Maybe the slide, unless it's just anchored really well, right? Depends on your construction.
And
Yeah.
this has kind of been abandoned for like 10 years, so it could
Oh.
probably knock it over.
Nice. Yeah, we could. We'll get later into that. We get it at hinge joints where like it could only knock over one way, and like we can see one snap. It'll be fun. All right. So if I come up here to my widget here and just click in the center again of that cube, then I go back to regular perspective view. The other thing to note is anytime you've got something selected, then you'll see the collider on it, right? You'll see the green outline of whatever collider it has. If you don't see an outline, it doesn't have a collider, and you done messed up. So give us big stuff, give us small stuff that can be kicked around. Now let me, bear with me while I just Google this and try to remember how to make the character controller kick physics objects. It's a simple something somewhere, I just don't remember.
Oh my gosh. Are you talking about just like being able to push objects when you run into them? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. But since this type of, well, I might just bowl in the other one like he said, but I want to, for my own, sorry, I'm trying to think and type at the same time. For my own curiosity, I'm trying to remember where there's a setting where I can make these controllers that aren't physics interact with physics.
Right.
So I'm just going to look that up. By the way, the other reason, no, it was another class. The other reason that I will use, so I use Opera because I can ad block and usually not watch a lot of ads on YouTube because that's awful. Also, I'm using DuckDuckGo instead of Google because I can tell DuckDuckGo to not show me any AI results. I'm like, just give me web pages. Like that's literally what I do a web search for. And so, yeah, you can set DuckDuckGo as your default browser and then some settings in there. It's got AI stuff, but it also gives me the option to just turn it off. So,
Yeah, I need to do better about that.
so that's why I'm not getting your standard like Google, hey, here's what AI thinks you should do. I don't care. But they do pull some good stuff. There we go. Generally not a good idea because they'll conflict with each other. Yeah, I'm gonna go to Stack Overflow and find out from people. Usually angry, opinionated people, but still people. It's the same one.
Sorry, no, you're fine. Just trying to think of like in my head, like what can I throw into my scene, like gas station. Sean, just out of curiosity, do you have any idea what FOV kick means? FOV kick.
Field of view.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what's happening when we run? I'll bet that's what it is.
It's just like something that's in the script. So
yeah.
No,
So
I've never used that one. I've only used the mini first person control route.
yeah. So this guy, if I'm walking, it does this. If I hold down Shift, did you see that? Like pan back. So that's taking the field of view of the camera and like pushing it out. So that's just guessing. I'm guessing that's what FOV kick means.
Well, there is like an FOV one where it's like there's like a different one where like it hides objects that are close to your camera. So I'm not sure if it's the same thing though.
Clipping?
Yeah, that. Okay,
Yeah,
so
FOV
that's-
clipping? Yeah,
I got the two confused. My bad.
no biggie. All right, I'm gonna start dragging in some of these other objects. There's a stump, a wooden bucket, a different wooden bucket. Ooh, I like that wooden bucket. He's
Why
cool.
does this remind me of like the prototype Shrek, like the very first iteration of Shrek?
I don't know. Back when Chris Farley was gonna voice it.
That one, the Chris Farley Shrek.
Yeah.
It just has like a similar set piece.
All right, so we'll just look at colliders again before I drag in the mini first-person controller, like Sean said. So we got this stump, which looks more like a barrel. I don't know why. I don't know why they wrapped. No, it's a tree trunk with metal rings around it. I don't know what they're doing. So we could go box collider on that. The capsule colliders are weird because they've got like the rounded ends. So I'm just going to actually just do a mesh collider on this one with the convex. And then that'll work pretty good. Here's a case where I'm going to use mesh collider by itself. Because what if I want to throw something into the bucket, right? And so then we'll get full physics with that. If I tried to use a non-convex mesh collider, and this is such a trick that's gotten me so many times that I've put it on lots of Unity exams. You cannot use a convex mesh collider with a rigid body. So I can't have this be a basket that I can throw stuff into using just the mesh collider and also be a basket that I could then pick up and carry. If you combine those two, the object will clip through the world and disappear.
Oh, snap.
I spent, it felt like days and hours. It probably wasn't that, but I spent a stupid amount of time working on a VR project as a developer. And I got this thing in there. I put the mesh collider and I put the rigid body. I'm like, it's right there. It's great. It looks awesome. I would start the game and the thing was gone. And it always disappeared faster than the game loaded. So I'm like, where's it at? Literally, it was just checkbox right here.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
One of my meshes has a convex mesh collider and a rigid body, and it works just fine.
If it's convex, yes. Yeah, but non-convex. So if it's got the concave, right? If I want this to be in a bucket that I can fill and then pick up and carry, Unity's going to have a heart attack. Your thing's going to disappear.
So how do you make a bucket?
We did. I don't know if I've got. Well, you took intro to modeling, right? Remember the treasure chest we made?
Yeah.
I had that in that same project, that same treasure chest that I'd made, and I dropped it in there. I had it like opening, and you could throw stuff in it. I had to use like about, well, actually, my friend did. He's the one who set that up for me. We used, I don't know, 9, 10 different box colliders. So we used a box on the bottom, a box for this side, a box for these sides, had different boxes around the top. And then even inside, we had another one that was just a trigger, which we'll get into next week, that would like just said, hey, something got thrown in here. And the treasure chest could actually add up how much gold you threw in, which was fun.
It feels like overkill though.
That's
Well,
what has to happen.
yeah.
That is a good
That's
point.
what you gotta do.
Like,
There's no choice.
you're not going to treat it like my bank account and just throw money in and assume it's still going to be there later. You should keep track and like know how much is in there. Anyway, all right, so let's look for the mini first person, and then I can show the things with rigid bodies getting kicked around. Yeah, so I've already gotten it, but I'll just go through the full deal. So I'm going to pop over here to, I'm going to keep that search open. Unity Asset Store. We'll look at a different one. the mini first person controller, right? That's the guy.
Yeah, I think that's the one.
It does. It's nice.
I'm pretty sure that's the one you used last year.
This is the one I used. Yeah. And it, wait a minute, legacy input system. The
It's
input
fine,
manager's
it's fine.
legacy.
You can just change it to all, but you can just go to.
No. They missed. It looks wrong. Input system's the new one. Manager's the
I
legacy.
think they might have changed it recently.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I
Wait,
agree.
what's the legacy?
Input manager is legacy. We're not going to mess with it. Like I've been holding out on input manager because it just works so well for me, but it's being phased out.
What's
So
the new one?
input system.
Okay.
We'll get there next week. We'll get there next week. We'll look at input systems. We'll look at triggers. We'll look at a lot of fun stuff. Well, in the next couple weeks. All right. So I have this guy, mini first person. I'm just gonna go ahead and open in Unity. Download, import, and it's got sounds. Doesn't do the cool I'm about to run like field of view thing, but you know, at least you can kick a box. So now my hot coffee's getting cold while I drink the iced coffee. When it's consistently triple digit heat, yeah, I'm not opposed. All right, so I'm gonna take my first person controller, and I can like delete it, or I can just uncheck it and it's all gone. It doesn't exist in the scene. I gotta go find. There's easy peasy. There it is. Mini first person controller. First person minimal. So let's drag this guy in. And he has a rigid body, so he'll interact properly with the things. Since we're here, oh, Ian missed that. Okay, so we'll just go over it again. We'll re-familiarize ourselves with this. So yeah, the guy's nasty fuchsia pink. Probably the only like consistent thing that all 3D programs have like agreed upon, like ever, is like we're going to use that color. No, except for Unreal. I take that back. Unreal throws a different texture on.
Unreal does checkerboard.
Yeah, they'll throw a checkerboard on it when they can't find the textures. But anyway, to fix this, again, it's window rendering, render pipeline converter, and probably just going to be regular material. Not, yeah, I'm just going to try just the material upgrade and not read-only material. So I'll initialize the converter, save and continue the scene. It actually takes longer to initialize than it takes to convert.
No, it's fine. All my other textures in my scene change except the.
It just wasn't meant to be. Check it. Someone might be jacking with this and they threw a pink texture on him, like just to mess with your head.
Which would you prefer, non-physics or physics-based movement?
So since I want you to kick things around the level for now, let's use the mini first person controller. You can have the easy peasy one in there as well, just because they're fun, and just do what I'm doing and just switch between them.
Yeah.
But when I open it up to test it, I'm going to want to use the physics one so that I can just see. I mean, I can go through. So when I grade, I mean, I get all your stuff. And I can go, okay, let me see. Box metal with hole. Oh, yeah, he's got a rigid body on it. I could go down your list in the hierarchy, but that's, if I have to, I will. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to load your scene up. I'm going to hit play and I'm going to run around and be like, yeah, that works. Grading is much more fun when I can
Yeah.
use a controller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of meant like more overall.
Oh, overall, it depends on the project. We are going to be we're going to be needing the physics-based one for a few projects. this semester. So like next week, we're gonna take this world, we're gonna add in a bunch of ridiculous, stupid stuff with triggers and scripts, and we're also gonna be turning it into a floor is lava type level. So we're gonna have some lava that's gonna raise up over time. So we're gonna need to be getting vertical. And the physics based one
I
is
just made mine a swamp.
is for some of the stuff we're doing, the physics based one's going to be more what we want. All right, convert assets finally.
So on the note of like exporting, um, so
You're right, that one didn't change.
on the
Yeah,
note of
everything else
exporting, I had way too much fun doing this in the HDRP. What is the stuff that I need to tell you about, or like what's the stuff that I need to describe to you when I export it to your
Just
system?
tell me you did HDRP.
Okay.
So if I we'll look at the exporting in a minute, and you'll see that if I were to export my scene, luckily I'm just exporting the scene and not the whole project folder. So the many gigs of junk that I grabbed won't be in my submission.
Okay.
All right, so I got first person controller. Let's just make sure that he works and that
Thank you.
the boxes can be kicked. Ooh, that one was fun. He did a little bouncy,
Boing.
and he doesn't run.
Yeah, mine is run either. Mine is run or jump.
You're trying to read input using the input class, but you've switched to active
Oh, you
input
have to switch the.
blast. All right, well, we're learning lots of things. It's great. All right, project settings, input. I'm gonna create a settings asset, and we're just gonna, I'm just gonna see if it'll be that easy for me. It won't.
It's you switch to legacy.
Yeah, I was looking for that too, but
Maybe
Right.
they just completely got rid of it. Maybe it's done.
well, so yeah. So there was the use both.
Right.
Yeah. Um, that's right. It's under player, I think.
I'm heavily fan with the waterfall.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Did I scroll past it? Yeah, there it is. All right. So edit project settings player. Scroll down about 3 days and then just tell it to use both.
Oh, I just did the old, but okay.
Yeah. This is it says it needs to restart. See, this is why I didn't want to use this one, is because I wanted to use just input system and not, but whatever.
I see. Did you save it, Professor?
Hmm?
No.
Your stuff is gone. No, you're
No, we're good.
Gosh. That would be terrifying, though.
It's like no, like, hey, you forgot to save button. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
Wow, that was stupid, but okay. Like, thanks, Unity. Okay, let's see. That restarted really quick, which is almost concerning.
It means we don't have enough.
There we go. I run. I can kick it.
You jump?
No, I kicked the box over this, which doesn't have any physics, like won't move. So the box flipped over and I went with it. Yeah.
Does the minimal one jump or is it just the other one?
Trees.
I used the other one. I didn't use minimal, so I. Whoa. Yeah, like, and then I don't think, I didn't put any colliders on that bucket, so I just clipped through that guy. And then the barrel stump. I just don't understand the barrel stump. I don't know what this is. It's literally called a stump, but it's got metal rings around it.
Somebody just like took a tree, cut it in half, look like a little, put like some of the bark on the top of it and put two like straps in it. I don't know.
Yeah, because that doesn't. Yeah, that's not even like the rings you would see inside the trunk. It's just bark again.
It would kind of be more efficient to make.
Some of us aren't master texturers yet.
Yeah, it's just like wood with some metal.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I mean, isn't that what a barrel is? Wood with metal around it?
Even like that just looks the lawn.
Yeah, that was just weird.
Metal, but it's-
All right, so I'm going to, what was that? Was the tub? The tub we want to leave so I can throw stuff in it maybe later. Wooden bucket's got nothing on it. I'm just going to add box and rigid body. And then this stump guy, I'm going to go ahead and add rigid body too. So we can look at the bark on the other side of it. All right. I will try to find a first person controller that is both physics based and input system using, but for now,
This is fine.
follow these steps. Yeah, this is fine as we sit here drinking our coffee and the place is on fire. All right, I think that's pretty much it. You can add more stuff. We're gonna add a lot to this scene later. So while you're adding in buildings and neighborhoods and painting in whatever else, if you're bored, if you've got free time, remember that we're eventually going to be going vertical on this level. So like maybe just have some mountains that you can get up or platforms and buildings that go higher up because eventually, at least to this level, it's all going to be covered in lava and killing you.
You're gonna open up Sean's project and he's already like got like Spider-Man web swinging with a line under and everything.
No, I have
There's-
a swamp.
Is this table hooked up to any power? I just realized my charger is not charging.
It looks like it.
If you want, you can charge it here.
Join us.
Just switch the.
Join us.
I don't know. They paid stupidly ridiculous amounts of money for these tables
Really? They don't look old.
20 years ago. No, they're old. We got them, well, maybe not 20, but we got them specifically for the networking class. People would do, like literally have to use all the switches and boards in here and make their own networking cables and all that stuff. It was very physical, hands-on, and now they're just weird looking tables.
You mind if I press buttons and see if you go?
Yeah, do what you want to do. All right, I'm gonna drag in just a few more fun things that are mine.
Oh, there we go.
So I
I
can
turned it off
minimize.
and back on and now it's.
Perfect.
Whoa. Hey, what
You
the
are
heck is
such
that?
a tech expert.
Oh, this is I wish I'd made this. No, this is a screenshot from Resident Evil Veronica coming next year,
Ah, okay.
and just the kind of gothic place I want to explore. So I'm like, yeah, I don't care if there's zombies in there. I'm gonna go inside that house and walk around.
35th Resident Evil game.
The 18th remake. So yeah, pretty much. Where are we at? There we go. All right, so I can just do that. I'm cheating. All right, so this is a asset pack that I've already done. So I'm just going to drag that over here. And the import looks just like the stuff we're getting from the asset store. I just say select everything, bring it in. So if you have your asset packs from last semester, and if they're textured even better from the summer semester, then you can have lots of fun here. Or just find junk on the asset store, whatever works. But I wanted to put a shipping crate next to my medieval house, just because. As they slowly load in, there we go. Gonna need that explosive barrel later for sure. Is it not in here? Where's my shipping crate? Must be an older one. Yeah, we'll drag a dumpster in.
Rabbit.
Oh yeah, he's fun. Yeah, we're gonna get to him in a little bit.
That's a good small kickable object.
Yeah, until he starts shooting lasers out of his eyes
Well, then
or chasing you around the map.
You can't get away
In
from
a
my
couple
laser
weeks.
beam eyeballs.
All right. So, I drug some stuff in here. They were my prefabs, so they already had rigid bodies and the colliders that I wanted on them. So I should be able to kick those around. Save. And so let me show you how these things are going to be submitted. So I'm working on this 260 week 1 scene, which should be in my scenes folder, the other scenes folder. Right, so that's the guy. Right click, export as asset package. And it's going to look and it's going to find, oh, it's still doing that. Hold on, let me see. Oh, that's hilarious. Okay. It's only going to grab the materials and the textures and the models that are in my scene. So if I've downloaded, I think I've probably put at least 4 gigs worth of assets in this project. It won't be that big because I didn't use all of them. So it's going to grab all of those. The other thing it's going to do, because Unity just can't quite figure itself out, is it's going to also grab every script in the project. Scripts I'm not using, scripts that are tucked away in other packages that I downloaded, they're all there.
Yes.
So I think some of these are even mine. Yeah, like next level, please. Look, these are a bunch of scripts that I had
Is that really
on some of my other prefabs, and so they're just propagating. So if you know, like I know I know this is my folder of scripts that I'm not going to need, so I can uncheck that and not include it. But for the most part, especially for this week, because if there's any scripts going on in your thing, it's from a first-person controller we downloaded. You don't have to uncheck anything, but it will, that's, hold up, include all scripts. I uncheck that,
And then you just keep the dependencies.
and then it only brings in, awesome. Okay, nice.
Heck yes.
All right, so the trick is just include dependencies and not all scripts. They finally figured that out. That's so good. I doubt it's because someone at Unity is watching my YouTube stream and hearing me complain about it, but I'm going to pretend that's what's up. All right, so I right click to the scene, export as package, include dependencies, but don't include all scripts, export, drop it somewhere that makes sense. Give it a good name. On that package, please put your initials, which I didn't do. Huh?
Just the initials. ET.
You know, middle name?
EHD.
Okay, there you go. And some other descriptive, like, you know, what week it is or whatever, right? And so now I've got this guy, and he's literally 472 megabytes. Canvas might not even cry about that. It's a dot unity package is the file type. It's basically a zip of all the things that scene needs. And then I can just drag that into whatever scene that I'm using to, whatever project I'm using to grade. It'll unpack all your stuff. I've got your scene, all of your things, and I can play it. So just make sure Canvas should not accept anything as a submission unless it's that type. Yeah, so file types, literally only Unity package.
Canvas would let you send it to that.
Canvas and I have been in, yeah, we had words. So we used to, people would just zip up their entire project, the entire project folder, and if they were a digital hoarder like myself, like, oh, I might use these 17 medieval whatever, I got all of it. And so they're like, yeah, my 50 gig thing wouldn't upload to Canvas. It timed out. Like it was dumb. But Very,
Zip it for
I'm
some reason.
huh? Yeah. Wouldn't even zip it.
Of course, I'm laughing and yet.
So that's where we're at. I think that's everything, right? We're keeping it simple for now, but do know that this whole thing is going to get crazier next week. So we're just going to build on this. So put in lots of buildings. Let me just double check the rubric. I did want to point a couple of things out. So created terrain, added height, materials, brush some trees. I could brush rocks onto it, stumps. Over the summer we brushed, or some people brushed, some didn't, some just placed them manually, like ferns and things out there. Added a grass texture, some controller. We want some smaller objects and large building size structures. I don't have a set number on those, but if I open your scene and like there's one big building and 2 boxes to kick, that's going to be boring. And so you're not going to really get the scene is creative, interesting, and fun points. And then,
One of my boxes in my building are really cool.
one box in one building, I mean,
2 boxes.
2 boxes.
2 boxes.
If one is a working treasure chest and the other one is
With
like
coins in it.
the Eye of Sauron, then maybe. But there better be flames coming off that thing, like.
I feel like a
Go
red
ahead, sorry.
detail. It just says flame.
Flame. So yeah, have some fun, make it creative, interesting, and fun. You'd be surprised. I've had scenes that wouldn't run. So for this week, I even included that as criteria. Like, please just make it something that I can hit play, and it works. And then on almost everything in this class, you can abuse the extra credit system. And so, if you're not like Ian over here, just putting in one building that says flame on it, if you get ahead of yourself and your name's Sean and things blow up in your face and whatever, like there's probably some extra credit points possible for just going completely bonkers.
Where's that like fix my textures button?
Window, rendering, render pipeline converter.
Thank you.
Let me see. I was testing myself. Let me just, yeah. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I got it.
And then material upgrade, and then
Yeah.
read only material upgrade.
Yeah. The read only, I don't know how often that's even used, but you can check it.
Okay.
Will this path be on a test somewhere? I don't know. Maybe.
I need to remember that.
Remember where the material render
Remember
pipeline
stuff.
converter is at.
Remember the stuff.
Yeah. Just remember the things. That's all you got to do. I'm glad I got in the explosive barrel. If you don't have your own explosive barrel, then find one. We're definitely going to be using explosive barrels next week. Well, we're going to make them insta-kill you, so that's kind of the same. There's obviously nothing in this dumpster. This is where I could probably like go back and play with the mass on that. I actually did model this dumpster where I can have the lids be separate objects, so I could have them hinged and have a bunch of garbage inside. And if I'll never be able to get it to stand up again. Not really. We'll get there. We'll be doing some hinge stuff later. And then one thing that I hadn't been including in this class, just because there's complete oversight, and then I remembered existed. So I've left a note for myself is we're going to need to get into ragdoll physics. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So yeah, lots of fun. Will we be hitting mannequins with our car? Maybe.
No, my brain runs up there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Grass is almost as cool as mud.
Yeah.
Same school of thought. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I mean, you met the minimum requirement. Yeah. Keep playing. Have fun. Yeah. Looks like all the things are there. What are you rocking over here? What is this laptop?
I don't know.
It looks dainty and
I wish I could run Steam.
It's not to be anything.